Delighted to welcome onto the TalkingBrawls MMA.com podcast for the first time a man from Team Rhino. It was a big fight coming up on February the 27th against Mario Saeed at BAMMA 24 in the 3 Arena. Myles, first of all, great to have you on, man. How's all with you? You keeping well?
Hi, Niall. Looking good, man. Yeah, feeling good. Getting ready for the fight now. Looking forward to it. Yeah,
Myles,
it's all good.
obviously a huge fight coming up for you. I remember speaking to you after the last fight against Kane Musa in the 3 Arena. I thought personally you won the fight 29-28. I thought it was a great performance from you. And I think Mark Diakese even thought you won the fight. And a lot of other media thought you won the fight. Just tell me a little bit about before that fight, going into the fight. You took a lot of time off from MMA. I think it was 2013 your last fight was for Cage Wars. What was the time with the time out before that fight?
The time out was really just first off, it was basically just to give me some headspace and to kind of evaluate my game, to see what I had to do to make myself better. And the two main things that three main things really I focused on over the course of when I took a break to the Musa fight and to now was my Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I focused a lot on that. I focused a lot on my strength training, and I focused a lot on my sports psychology as well. So my mental aspect of the game. So I pushed a lot in those three areas, and I still am pushing and hitting new heights every week, every month, every day.
The more I speak to you, and you mentioned that, the psychological element and looking at that, you see more confidence time and time again, and competing against a guy like Kane Musa in a fight. As I said there, I thought you won. You were good where anywhere the fight goes. Your jiu-jitsu was well off your back. You were landing a lot of shots up against the cage, the elbows. Your counter striking was very good. How important is that part of the game?
No, it is extremely important, but it's also very important to. I was happy with my performance, but I wasn't happy with the result. I know I'm capable of going in and beating anybody in the world, and I have to go in and display that. It's about making the proper productive steps in order to start having consistent dominant performances, and that time will come. I'm gradually making big improvements and over periods of time, and it's getting to that stage now where I'm going to go on a huge winning streak and everyone's going to see my full potential and at a consistent level.
Why weren't you said you weren't happy with the performance there? I thought it was a very, very assured and all-round good performance. You looked solid everywhere, probably fight of the night as well. Why weren't you happy with it?
Because I know that there was a lot of things in the fight that could have went different ways. Like a fighter's never, no fighter's ever going to tell you that they're happy with their performance. Ever. They're never going to be happy. And truly, if I won the fight, or if I went in and I knocked them out in 10 seconds, I'd still be complaining about something. So that's just the nature of the beast when it comes to athletes and, in particular fighters, because when we step into that cage, it's us against ourselves. It's us trying to meet our own expectations, and they're usually very high, and we usually don't reach them. That's why we try and learn from in particular, of our losses, but also our wins. So although that fight felt like a win, it still came to the decision of a loss. So I had to adjust a few things, and I can't be happy with it because I have to constantly keep adapting and moving forward.
And talk to me about, that was a big night. There was 6,000 fans there in the 3 Arena. And we know the atmosphere is fantastic. Was there any nerves going in there, into the cage and fight night?
No, I'm pretty calm when it comes to things like that. I don't really think about it too much. I just go in and I just do it. I kind of try and have as laid back an attitude as I can, and just have a don't give a shit attitude and just have fun, because that's where I perform at my best usually, is when I'm just calm, focused, relaxed, ready to strike and ready to finish at any given moment, and not making a big deal out of it either. Like, it's just another day in the gym to me. A lot of fighters do say that, but it is generally true if you have that attitude towards fighting and try not to let any sort of pressure get to you. Like, everyone's best performances are in the gym. All you have to do is take a deep breath and transfer those performances into the cage. So I don't think about anything else, and I usually don't get nervous. I might get nervous when your man calls in. He's like, right, Myles are out next. I might feel like jumping out the closest window, but after that, I'm grand when I'm down going up the elevator. It's all cool.
And Myles, you talk about the gym, and we the likes of the two UFC boys there. Well, obviously Red's our former UFC. I thought it was a joke that he got released. Anyway,
me too. Yeah, I thought that he didn't get the opportunity. He should have been on the Irish card, and he should have fought at 70 because he went on a killer winning streak.
Big time
At 70, and he's a killer in the gym as well, man. Me and him do bait the bollocks out of each other. And I'm telling you, he's going to get back into the UFC and he's going to make a statement at 70 because, as you said, like, it was bullshit. He didn't get the chance he deserved.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. We obviously Neil. We've other guys. Paddy Wicks that obviously had to be. He's forced off the car with a torn meniscus. Very unfortunate for Paddy. You know, there's up and coming guys like O'Rourke. There's a whole host of young guys coming up in the gym there. You know, really high potential, good prospects for the UFC. You know, how underrated is the gym there? Do you feel that there's people not really looking at Team Rhino enough as they should be, because with the likes of you as well, who are really making strides in his mixed martial arts career?
I think it's under. I do think we're under. It's because there's a big light in the SPG camp because of Conor, you know. But at the end of the day, people tend to forget that MMA is an individual sport. Like, you know, like Conor stands out because he's selfish and he thinks of himself, and he might say that he works with the team, but at the end of the day, he is where he is because he's mentally focused on himself and what he needs to do. And you know, when you look at Team Rhino, we have a hell of a lot of guys like that we all work as a team, but we are all extremely strong individuals that have set our goals very high. And I think the thing is about our camp as well, we don't really give a shit about what everyone else is doing. We just do our own thing, and we just strive to improve. Because if you look outside that bubble, you think outside that box, and what's the point? It's just taking back steps and thinking about things that just don't matter. We do what we do, and we improve. And eventually, the spotlight will be put on us naturally without even thinking about it, because we're constantly achieving individual goals while working as a team.
Let's look at your opponent, Mario Said, coming up in the 3 Arena on the 27th of November. I heard an interview with him there the other day, and he said he's gonna finish you in the first couple of rounds. You know, what are you expecting from this guy? He's known for his arm bars. We saw him at Cage Warriors, I think it was Sean Carter. I think it was Cage Warriors 70, 71, 2, whatever it was, about a year ago. What are you expecting from him on fight night?
I don't know. Like, I just see, the head's just blurry to me, and I see the body. Like, you know, that's a philosophy that I've been going by for years, and I expect him to have any sort of tools, but like I can't say that I can expect something guaranteed from the fella. I know that he likes go-tos for arm bars. He says that quite a lot. He's a bit of a shit talker. You know, my main sparring partner here, Brennan, he's Mick Brennan. He's
sitting there with you.
I'm telling you, he catches your arm and he's taking it home with you. So if I can defend Mick's arm bars, this Mario Said is a walk in the park for me. So he talks a big talk, but we're not in the UFC yet, dude, and we're not. You know, you just get on with your own thing, and if you talk too much shit, you're just hyping it up and you're putting pressure on yourself. Because I'll just go in and knock you the fuck out. Because I'm not thinking about him. I'm not thinking about what he says on Twitter or bullshit videos he puts up on Facebook. You know, I'll save that for the big show. Like, I'll save that when I'm really putting everything on the line in the UFC and I'm really representing my country. For the time being, I know he's not on my level, and I'm just going to go in and do the job that I'm made to do. And I've made myself into this athlete that I am today. That I will go in and will perform.
We look at that fight against Cain Moussa. You know, really, I thought it was fight of the night for me, and I said that to you after the bout.
Thanks so much.
You know, I think we're going to see something similar from you, because anytime you get in the cage, you've got better and better, you know, regardless if you win or lost. Your last 3 fights, especially since I think it was the Kieran Davern fight, I think it was. You've just got better and better, more confident. We've said that. With a win over Mario Said, does this put you, you know, into title contention because of Cain Moussa is now getting a shot at Mark Diakese, and we look at that fight, and we know that you more or less beat him from what a lot of people thought in that fight.
Yeah, I don't really look into titles and stuff like that. I think Moussa knows that he lost that fight in his heart. You know, even if he got the W, you can't look back and make excuses. Like, you have to face the man in the mirror at the end of the day, and the man in the mirror is telling you that you lost that fight, because the only reason he won that fight is because the judges obviously weren't as experienced as what they should have been. Because but he positionally done a lot better. That's one of the things that I had to work on for this new camp, was working on positional dominance. But you know, you can't just hold someone down and hug them and whisper sweet nothings and try and kiss them down on the ground. Like, that's just being a faggot. You're not looking for performances. You're looking for a W, and that's when fighters tend to not get the careers that they deserve to have. Because, like, at the end of the day, obviously I want a W. It's no matter what, but I go in there to perform and to excite people. Like, that's what I want. And I want people. I don't give a box. I care about exciting myself. I want to go in and I want to do crazy shit that I look back on and go, geez, yeah, that looked all right. Maybe I could add this to it, or I could do that to it in the next fight. So yeah, I think a title fight is always going to be in tension for me. I want to wipe out the whole lightweight division in BAMMA. I don't care how long that would take. I don't care if I get one fight and I get called to the big show. If I get two fights and I get called to the big show. But when I put on this performance in a few weeks against Mario Said, they're going to know soon enough, as all my teammates, and Ireland is very supportive in Ireland, especially with coaches, MMA critics, fans and stuff. We're all behind each other to move as forward as much as we can to get into the big show. And I know with the performances that I put on, and especially on the 27th, that it doesn't matter what comes after that fight. It'll just be, everyone will realise what I'm about after that.
You talked about positional dominance you've been working on there. Is that in order to, we saw obviously in the fight against Musa, a lot of the time you were landing strikes, up against the cage and from off your back. You were doing a lot of damage. The judges didn't score it in that manner, obviously, because you lost the fight. But is that why you've been working on the positional dominance, is to take away that aspect and be in control on the deck instead of trying to leave it in the hands of the judges?
Well, yeah, that's pretty much it, because, like, at the end of the day, there is still some very uneducated MMA judges out there, and when they look at a fight, they tend to look at the guy that gets a double leg at the end of the round and just lies on top of him and plays cases like Musa did in my fight. So, of course, I have to keep on adapting, and I have to add on to my game. Like, yeah, my jiu-jitsu was good, my striking was good from the bottom and from my back being against the cage at times, but now I want to be on top, raining down those elbows, and I want to be pushing someone against the cage and having the choice to separate and fucking flare out my crazy kicks and punches if I need to,
So, Myles, just before we let you out of here, I do appreciate the time. What type of fight are we going to see here? Are we going to see a dominant Myles Price on the feet, or are you prepared to go anywhere in this scrap?
I'm prepared to go anywhere as per usual. I have to. Like, every mixed martial artist has to adapt to any given situation these days. And Mario Said is going to be in for a big shock. Anyone's going to be in a big shock when they come in to fight me. I don't give a shit. That's the biggest thing about me, is that I don't give a shit. I don't care who you are, what weapons you bring. I'm going in there and I'm in there to face myself. And there is nobody that has as high as expectations as me for myself. So there's nothing you can bring that's going to challenge me, because I'm always going to be improving and I'm always going to adapt to any situation. So, of course, anyone that steps in there with me is going to get a very, very hard time and is going to lose. And that's what I want. That's my mentality going into every single fight. So, yeah, you're going to see a good performance.
I'm massively excited as well, fighting in front of a big crowd in the 3 Arena. That must be something to really look forward to as well, man.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. Yeah, the crowd gives you a lot of energy as well. At the end of the day, I travel to Dublin 3 times a week to train, and I blaze the rest of my training out down in Kilkenny, and sometimes I train more up in Dublin. So Dublin feels like a lot of my family are up there, so it feels like home to me. I feel very comfortable up there. I feel very comfortable fighting in the 3 Arena as well. Awesome
stuff. And just one more thing, a couple of your teammates, obviously, Red's gone over to Canada. What's the plans for you for the rest of the year after this fight? Is that something you might look at doing? I know Andy has a good relationship with the guys over in Tristar.
Yeah, I was talking to Red and Andy about that, and I'm definitely, actually, me and Nick Brennan are thinking of going over for a month there at some stage this year. We're definitely going to go for a month. It's nice to have an experience, and it's not just that. It's nice to go away for a little trip away, because anytime I go for a trip, I hate, even if I'm going with a stag on a weekend or with the lads, like, I have to find the closest gym and I have to do something. I like killing 2 birds with one stone. At the end of the day, this isn't just my job, it's something that I love as well. So, me and Nick will head over with Redzer and probably at one stage for a month and do a good bit of training and enjoy ourselves in the process. It's just the main thing.
Myles, absolute pleasure to have you on. Do appreciate the time. Anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before we wrap up?
I'd like to give a shout out to Sully's Gym down in Kilkenny, Team Rhino. They're the guys that bring me on, and Champion Muay Thai with Mark Casterly there. He's been a massive help for for my stand-up. He always has been. And same with Paul Norton. He's fighting for a K1 title and this Saturday, and he's going to run through your man. He's looking like a beast at the moment. And I'd like to give a big thanks to my sponsors, which is Vitality Fitness in Carlisle. We looked after him for supplements, and Forever Freedom under Eddie Clifford for this fight. So thanks very much, guys. I appreciate the support, and you won't be disappointed come the 27th. And thanks very much for the interview, Niall. It's always a pleasure.
No problem, man. Absolutely do appreciate the time. And the guys can catch you on Twitter at Myles Price MMA, I think it is. Is that correct?
That's Magic Myles MMA, yeah.
There we go. Myles, absolute pleasure to have you on. Best of luck. Looking forward to the fight on February 27th. I do appreciate the time again, man.
Cool.